had a successful weekend in Ann Arbor. Our women, for the second year in a row, finished top 4 in the conference, and we feel like we're going to be advancing about 7 or 8 individuals, plus 3 relays on to NCAAs. Some couple of standout performances as a sophomore. Abby Carlson really is just enjoying a breakout season to win a Big Ten title in the 500 free. Put up, one of the top times in the country in the 200 free, have a great 100 free on the last day. She's really emerged as not only just a great contributor in the conference, but at the national level as well. Paige McKenna also just, continuing on her success from her freshman season. Paige is someone that had a pretty serious injury that we had to deal with over the offseason, over the summer, that prevented her from training. So we're really proud of her, and really speaks to her work ethic and her commitment to come back this year, defend her title in the mile, put up the nation-leading time in the 1650. So she'll carry that. As it stands right now, the Big 12 and the Pac-12 still have to race, but she's in a great position to go on to the NCAA championship and continue her success. And I think anytime you have success as a freshman, as much as she did, to win 2 Big Ten championships, to be a national champion, you're always going to be dealing with expectation. And I think the thing that we've preached all season long with Paige is to, not necessarily worry about the standing or where she's going to end up at the end of the year, but just to focus on, it's a cliche thing to say, but just focus on the process and taking care of herself, and she's done a really great job of that. Phoebe Bacon, I think it's worth mentioning. We had to withdraw her in the middle of the meet due to illness. We expect her to hopefully make a full recovery in time for the NCAAs. Phoebe is obviously one of the best swimmers in the country, one of the best swimmers in the world in a lot of ways, coming off of a great summer in which she was a silver medalist at World Championships, and will also be someone that we'll count on a lot for NCAAs. Looking ahead to the weekend, this week coming up with our men, we're going to be back in Ann Arbor for the men's championship meet. Last year we were 4th as well. Last year in a lot of ways was a really fun year. Both teams were 4th, which I think was our highest, or maybe our lowest combined finish, highest combined finish, and I guess depending on where you look at the numbers, right, highest combined finish in we think 20-some years, and we look to continue that success with the men. Knock on wood, we're healthy right now. There's still 48 hours to go before the competition, but we're healthy right now, and that's real exciting for the men, because there's been some things that have cropped up over the last few seasons, but they've really progressed really well through the season. Really going to be leaning on swimmers like a junior, defending Big Ten champion, Jake Newmark. He was our first Big Ten champion on the men's side last year since 2015, and he's just enjoyed a really successful junior year. We have a sophomore distance swimmer, Yeet Aslan, that's had a great year. We've got some exciting freshmen as well that we're really going to be looking forward to. So just a really fun, deep team this year on the men's side. Indiana is probably the favorite. They won last year. Ohio State will always be tough. Michigan will be swimming well in their home pool. And so, I think similar to the women, on the men's side, we're going to be looking to kind of chip away at the big 3 in our conference, and as well as moving on to NCAAs and getting as many men as we can onto that championship meet.
We'll start with Carly in the back.
I have a question about Paige. To go through that injury and then come into the season, you said you just wanted her to really focus on herself. So is it a surprise, like how well she's been doing this season so far?
I think so. I think that Paige's desire is never in question, and she has a great work ethic. She's incredibly committed, but you never know how an athlete's going to come back from an injury, especially one in which she pretty much lost 4 to 5 months of training over the summer, and she swims events that don't really allow for that. So, but she is really slowly worked herself back up, and so I don't, from my standpoint, I don't really know what my expectation was from a time perspective. I think she's exceeded it given her injury, but I think it really speaks to just her growth as a person, the role that she's taken on in our program, and just her ability to kind of bounce back. It's been really impressive.
Diane, go ahead.
The team has already set a school record in the 200 free relay. How do the relays overall kind of stack up in the Big Ten?
Yeah, that's a great question. I would say for the men, we're going to be looking to, we broke a school record in the 200 medley relay and the 200 free relay. We broke one in the 400 medley relay, and we have all of our pieces back this year, so I think we can be better there, as well as the 800 free relay. We're all back, in full force as well. So, I think those are double points, so they're incredibly important, not only at the conference but at the NCAA. So, yeah, I think we didn't lose anyone off any of those relays, so I think we have a really great chance of being better this year.
Chaco?
Coach, one of your swimmers, Will Meyer, had a chance to do some big things recently with Badgers Give Back, donated twice on his own.
Yeah.
How cool is it to see one of your athletes go above and beyond to do something like that?
Yeah, I mean that's just that's typical Will. I think in a lot of ways, someone who he would have never told anyone about that. I think that, and which says a lot about his character. I think he, apparently was engaged with the team, was very touched by the experience and the need that he saw. So I do think it says a lot about his character that behind the scenes. I mean, he certainly didn't reach out to me or wasn't going to publicize that he did this, and so. I think as a coach, you're always you hope that the athletes are this is more than just swimming at times and about school, and so to see him give back to the community and contribute like that, it says a lot about him and his family and where he comes from and his values, and so. I think every coach wants to see their athletes be engaged in the community, and we talk about that. We talk about being leaders, and so Will is obviously living that.
Time.
Yuri, forgive me for not knowing off the top of my head. You've been here 6 years?
This is my fifth season.
Fifth year. Yeah. Where would you say, compared to when you came in and the goals you set for elevating this program, where are you in that? Have you hit a lot of them? Do you still have some that feel like are still out there to check off?
That's a great question. I would say that we, like everything, it's a little bit of everything. I would say that, in the conference, we certainly wanted to be better there, be more consistent. We're talking about a women's team that was kind of in that 4th to 6th range, a men's team that was maybe sometimes even from the 6th to the 7th to the 8th range. And so I think for both teams to be 4th, and again, I use the word kind of chipping away. They use the phrase chipping away at some of the three that have traditionally been the powerhouses in the conference. It's not going to happen overnight, but we feel like we've been able to close that gap. So I think in the conference level, we still have a ways to go to kind of get to that level, but we've definitely seen improvement. I think the men were 6th in my first year, and then so for us to be 4th now, is a good thing. The women have consistently been in the top 20. We've had 3 different individual national champions in Beta Nelson, Phoebe Bacon, Paige McKenna. So that's exciting, and I think that we're still trying to get better there, score more points, break into the top 15. I think we were 17th last year with a really high point total. We're going to try and match that, if not be better this year. The men on the national level, due to a variety of reasons, have not been able to be in the top 20. But like I was referencing earlier, that is a big goal of ours. And with having a healthy squad this year and having some of the relay depth that Diane had asked about, we think of my 5 seasons, I think this is the best one for the men to do that. So on the conference level, I think we're moving up on the NCAA level. With the women being in the top 20, the men, we have to do it. I think we've got the pieces, but we need to do it. And then there's the international and the national side. And so having an Olympian 2 summers ago, having a world championship medalist, we have a young lady coming in 2 years who's a junior Pan Pac champion. So I think on the international and national level, that's been successful as well. So, and that kind of drives it. I mean, I think when athletes see that they can come to Wisconsin and not only be great NCAA swimmers, but they can also experience success representing their country in international competition, that they build on each other, they fuel each other.
Dan.
How does Jake Newmark look to defend his title in the Big Ten, and what does it mean just to have him to be able to anchor kind of all of your free style events?
Jake is kind of a little bit of a Swiss Army knife of a swimmer because he's got some speed. We can put him on a 200 medley or 200 free relay, but he also has a great distance background. He won the 500 last year, so he looks good. I would say Jake again has enjoyed a really strong junior year. We will have him ready to go. I think he's in a really good spot, both mentally and physically for the week ahead. And yeah, it means a lot. I mean, he's a great swimmer, and one of the things about short course swimming that's really important is the ability to kick underwater. And Jake is one of the best underwater kickers that we have, not only on the team, but I think in the conference.